And so it was like, that might not work. And
This is the Leo Climaco podcast.
Welcome to another episode of the Leo Climaco podcast. Today's guest will be the first black trillionaire. What's up, Chief?
what's up, bro? How you feeling?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm living the dream, bro. Another day in
Yes, you
paradise.
are.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Talk about that dream. How did that dream come to be?
So I came from Baltimore, Maryland. My mom and dad both work full time, so I watched my family, struggle in a sense. And I wanted to create generational wealth, right?
Yeah.
So didn't know exactly which way I was going to go, how I was going to make it happen. And at the end of the day, right, I tell people all the time I'm a retired underachiever. So I was someone who dropped out of college.
You're a retired underachiever.
Retired
I
underachiever.
like that. I never heard that before.
Yeah, retired underachiever. So I ended up dropping out of college, bro. And my very first business was network marketing. So I got into the network marketing industry
Okay.
at 22 years old.
The roots.
That's the roots. And so fast forward, today we teach people how to rob the banks, but legally. And, we focus on helping people get, capital to grow, scale, start their businesses. And it really just came from starting in Baltimore, having a mindset to win. And I say it all the time that, we're all born to win, but like you're programmed to fail, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so just wanting to go
100%.
against the programming, the programming of the system, the programming of the school system, the systems, the infrastructures. Even when you think about just growing up in the hood and growing up around people that don't have money and that's impoverished and don't understand financial literacy, those are kind of systems that you grow up in and you just try to navigate out of it. And some people never get out, but unfortunately for me, I will thank my parents for the way that I think and how I operate and how I navigate. And so that was one of the ways I was able to kind of get out because I was one of the person that trusted in myself and believed in me. And so like when I came across even the network marketing industry, I got in right away, and that started working on my mindset. Because you got to work on your mindset more than your skill set, right? It's 90% mindset, 10% skill set, and so that was big 100%. For me. Just working on my mindset, bro. And once my mind changed, I tell people all the time, bro. Once you change your mind, then everything will change for you.
What were you going to school for that you dropped out?
I was going to school for accounting, right? So let me tell you, I was in high school. I love basketball. I had hoop dreams, but as you can see, I'm about 5'7", and so it was like, that might not work. And I was in my senior year in high school, I had like these electives. So it was like a business ed.
Right.
It was accounting, and then it was another elective. I couldn't think, right? And so my teacher at the time, he was like, "Yeah, bro, if you become an accountant, accountants make like $80,000 a year." Mind you, that was money to me because my dad worked for the city, made maybe $35,000-$40,000 a year. So that
That's
to me
double.
was like, yo, I'm doubling my dad's income. I could be successful at it.
Yeah.
Bro, I got to Morgan State, and I tell people all the time, I'm not a Morgan alum, I'm a Morgan a bum, right? Because I dropped out. I couldn't get with the accounting. And so I
love your catchphrases.
Yeah, I didn't like the so with accounting, it's a bunch of numbers, it's balance sheets and things like that, which is good financially, but I didn't see myself long-term counting other companies' money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I wanted to make money. I want to see how this really works. And so I never really fell in love with school because in high school, what kept me in school was basketball. So when it come to I want to play, I got to get good grades.
Right.
When I got to college, I wasn't playing basketball anymore. So now it's just the girls, it's the marijuana, it's chasing all the other things that really didn't matter. And that's really where the crossroad came in. So I ended up dropping out. And what woke me up was the network marketing industry. Like what gave me a sense of like vision, a sense of direction was network marketing because I wanted to get rich. I wanted to own my own business. And it seemed like a viable way, to get out of the situation that I was in. So I remember getting started in that industry. And it's like, yo, I'm about to get rich. I'm telling everybody I'm about to get rich. I'm telling everybody we about to win. We're going to do something big. And so it's really that. You start working on your mindset. You start seeing the difference in how people want to hang out and party. I remember like I stopped playing PlayStation. I literally got into the industry, bro, and stopped playing PlayStation, and stopped playing Xbox. I stopped playing video games, because you start seeing like all that stuff is a distraction.
You had a new game to play.
Yeah, it's a distraction, bro. And there's a lot of stuff that we do, and it's like you do it because other people do it because of the environment that you're in.
Right.
Not realizing that your environment is shaping your circumstances. And if
100%.
you change your environment, change what you're doing, you could change that. So that's really what happened, bro. So that's how I ended up kind of like redirecting myself. But yeah, accounting was the industry. Didn't really like it. It didn't seem good to me. I never saw myself working a 9 to 5, 30, 40, 50 years of my life. So
Yeah, that don't fit you.
yeah,
I don't see you being an accountant.
I couldn't do it, bro. Yeah.
How did you get into network marketing? Who showed you that path?
So That's funny, man. So I sold marijuana in college, at Morgan State,
Amen.
and hand-to-hand transactions, right? So what happened was one of my friends called me.
Hold on, real quick. People like they hear that and they want to judge it, bro. Most drug dealers are the best salespeople and best CEOs I've ever met in my life.
Sure. To be honest, bro,
The skills you learn on the street, it's crazy.
so to be honest, bro, like I had a job at McDonald's at first, like just a job at McDonald's, and they kept playing my hours. Like, you work 30 hours this week, next week you work 10 hours. Like, man, I'm trying to get to it. I always wanted to get to it. I remember working at McDonald's, and they play with your hours, and it's like, it's not even about the hours, it's about my check. Like, my check is not gonna make money. So one day they play with my hours, and it goes back to your environment, right? So they play with my hours. I'm at Morgan State one day, and this guy like, yo, look, I got a couple bags of weed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I give them to you, on an arm, and then basically you can pay me back.
Right.
I'm like, bet. I don't know nothing about it for real, but it's like, well, I was a person that smoked marijuana at the time, but I didn't know anything about like the business side of it.
Gotcha.
So when he gave me the marijuana, I'm like, hey, look, you can sell each bag for this. This is how much you got to give me back. So he probably
What did he give you, like 2 ounces?
No, he wasn't even that much, bro. He probably gave me like 25 worth of weed.
Okay.
And he was like, bro, if you sell each bag for like $10, you know what I'm saying? I think it was like maybe $5-10.
Right.
And I make $50. It was, matter of fact, it was I could sell $5 a bag. I think he gave me like 10 bags. That's $50. I only owed him $25.
Okay.
I'm like,
Bet. Let's go.
Let's start it. So I'm on campus. Everybody, it's easy. So I think I sold the 10 bags like 2 days, maybe 2 days. I'm like, boom.
Yeah.
I gave him the money back. I'm like, all right, bet. I gotta re-up. So I started basically that was how I started my business. I took the 25, gave it back to him. I had about 25 left. I said, bro, I need where can I get I need to get my own package. And that's how I started it. And so boom, from there I started making, a little bit of money here and there with it. But what I liked about it was that I didn't have to work a job to make money. I can make money around my own time.
Right.
And when people would call
Give you
me,
freedom.
yeah, like when people would call me, yo, I'm over here. Bet, I'm on my way. I had excellent customer service, bro. Like, yo, I don't even want you to move. Yo, you at the Forest Lofts? Bro, I'm on the way. Don't even move. I'm on the way. And so I started with that. One day I was outside.
I wish I knew you back then.
Yeah, it's crazy. One day I was outside. Me and my friends was outside, and we met this guy. He was driving a Lexus, and he was like, yeah, bro, this is around like 2000, let's say 12, 13. So this is right before Exotic or Loud came out. Like, so
Got it.
like we still like Arizona days, AZ days now, like, Blue
New York
Dream
Sour
coming out.
Diesel.
Yep. The Loud coming out. And so I like, yo, I got some Sour Diesel, like I'll sell it to you for this. And I'm like, bet, and I really just started, building it, bro, building it. Because I was at Morgan State, the clientele was so simple. It was just staying on campus and just making sure I was available. So that was one of the reasons why I would never stay in class. Because like,
Right.
I'd be in class, math class, you get a text, boom, I'm trying to get 3 for 25. I'm trying to get, man, I ain't making no money in class.
No.
Yo, I gotta go to the bathroom.
You're spending money in class.
I'm out. You know what I mean? I'm out. And so, it became like my very first business. I didn't really understand what it was morphing into, but I understood customer service. I understood marketing. I understood something about sales.
Yes.
And I understood just being available for customers. Because one of the things about in that business, like, yo, people want somebody that's gonna be available. Because if you don't answer the phone, guess what? You're
Correct.
gonna call the next person, and it's like, oh, you just lost out on money.
Exactly.
And you realize how quick it can be, because people gonna have different plugs, different people they can get to. But you realize, like, if you somebody that's dependable to answer the phone, you can definitely get to it. So that's basically how I started with that, bro. And really, yeah, you can become a good salesman and all that kind of stuff. But transitioning to how I got into network marketing, I got a call from a friend, and he was like, bro, I want a match. If you know what a match is, like, basically I roll up one, you roll up one. He was like, I'm gonna bring a friend. He brings a friend. The day before, and mind you, the whole time I'm doing this, I still got a job. I still got, I used to work 3 to 11 in the weekday. I used to work 9 in the morning to 11 at night on Saturdays and Sundays. So I was working 6 to 8 hour weeks.
Doing what?
It was working with people with mental disabilities.
Okay.
So it wasn't a hard job, but for you to make money, you gotta spend time on the clock. So something happened to the job. They was playing on my hours, or something happened. I can't remember exactly what it was. But the next day, after I had a little issue at the job, my guy calls me, yo, let's match. He brings his friend. So at the job, though, the night before, I looked up How to Get Rich, and the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad audio version came up. At the time, I don't know nothing about SEO, but he must have been like at the top of the SEO for how to get
For
rich or
sure.
something rich.
Yep.
So I listened to the book, and in that book is talking about the rich dad being the high school dropout. The poor dad is the one with the PhDs and all that.
Yep.
I'm at this very moment in college. So I'm like, hold up, the poor dad is the one that got the PhDs. That's the path that I'm on right now, and I don't want to be poor. Boom, the rich dad, he done dropped out. He owned businesses. He's doing this, he's doing that. Light bulb went off, right? Because now what happens is that like my guy Nehemiah say, once a mind has been expanded to something different, you never can unsee it, right?
No, 100%.
So once I read the book or got the audio version and I'm listening and it's like, yo, okay, so this poor dad got all the education, went to college, did all this, but the rich dad did this. Like, I want to be more like the rich dad. The next day, I'm talking about the book. Everybody I know. Every conversation I'm having, I'm just talking about the book. It literally blew my mind so much that it literally was like the topic of my conversation to everybody I had a conversation with.
That's incredible.
Because it was like that aha moment.
You found a new path.
Yeah.
You found a new way.
Yeah, bro. Information changes situations.
Yes.
So we all link up. Me and my guy that called me, and we link up, and he's with a guy, and I'm talking about the book. He's like, oh, I like your mindset, the way you think, that you got to meet my mentors. So meet your mentors. Now, where I come from, Baltimore, people don't have mentors. They have football coaches.
Okay.
They have basketball coaches. They might have a coach that deals with sports.
Right.
But the word mentor was just like, your mentor.
Unknown.
Yeah, it was like, well, who's your mentor? So what threw me off was, though, he was like, yeah, bro, you got to come meet us at the Morgan State Library. I'm like, hold up. Sir. Because if anybody was getting money at Morgan State, I would have known them because I was on campus. I was, well to me known. I got around. Like, I knew people.
Right.
So that kind of threw me off. But long story short, about 2 weeks went past, and I hit him up, and I was like, bro, what's up with those mentors you was telling me about? He was like, bro, you got to come back to the Morgan State Library. I'm like, all right, bro. So I come to the library, and one of the guys was in my English class that I ran into, and then they played this video, bro. At the time, it's 2014. Donald Trump's on the video. Donald Trump's like, yeah, man, this is the greatest opportunity. If you don't get in this, and he didn't say you're stupid, but like low key, if you don't get in this, you're stupid.
In his Trumpian way.
It's Trump at 2014 though. So mine just before presidential election, everybody loves Trump. Everybody knows Trump for being a billionaire. Everybody associates Trump with
Apprentice and all that.
Bingo. Everybody associates him with money. So I'm like, wow, I like the information, but I didn't sign up on the spot. The crazy thing is, and that's how I thought it was like meant to be. So remember I told you I used to work 9 in the morning to 11 at night, Saturday and Sundays. They had an event on a Saturday. My supervisor calls me Friday night and was like, hey, you don't got to work overtime this weekend. Now, this is how much of a hustler I am. And I kind of like, I'll tell you the real story. So I literally goes in anyway. I go in to work anyway, like I forgot that they called me, right? Going to work anyway, right? But the event started like 2 o'clock. I went to work from like 9 to 1, ended up going to the event, and I still stayed on the clock from 1 to 11 anyway. So I still got all the money from the job, which is basically
incredible.
Still
what a
time,
hustler.
You know what I mean? But I went to the event. When I went to the event, it was people were dressed up, and I saw success for the first time outside of drug dealers or basketball players or movie stars and things of that sort. And I was like, I want to associate myself with that. So I got started. And
so you're like what, like 20, 21, 22?
22.
Man, what exposure at 22.
Yeah, it was, and that's the thing, right? It was an environment. It was a different environment.
Yeah.
And so once I locked in. And what's crazy is that, like, so you start the business and you want to be successful. What happens is that the difference between how people that are successful and people that are not successful is how they think.
100%.
Right? And so now...
And their actions.
Yep. And that's predicated due to how they think and how they operate. So now that's where personal development came in, because now it's the Jim Rohns, it's the Eric Thomases, it's introduced me to a whole other world.
The Godfathers.
And now it's like, okay, now I have to redirect how I think. And so I started, I call it Car University. Because one of my mentors said that you shouldn't be even listening to music if you're not making $100,000 a month.
Wow.
So I was like, bet. So all I did was listen to Challenge to Succeed. I'm Jim Rohn.
You shouldn't even be listening to music if you're not making $100,000 a month.
Yeah.
That's a luxury.
Yeah. Because it goes back to what, and especially the music we come up on. What is it depositing into your mindset? What is it depositing into your spirit, right? Like, what is it depositing into you?
That's incredible.
You know what I mean? And so,
I've never heard that before. That's such a good way to phrase it.
Yeah, because it's all in what we listen to. It kind of frames how we think and our actions and all that stuff.
Right.
So yeah, but that was the start. Network marketing. So still involved to this day, but that was definitely like the major thing that like shifted how I started moving. And then you start going to the events and start like getting into the rooms and start all that kind of stuff and wanting to be successful. And then you start realizing how a lot of people, and it's not just network market, but any business in general, a lot of people just don't take their business seriously, because a lot of people are predicated on going to work and 30, 40, 50 hours at a job. You build another man's company. You don't really build anything for yourself.
Right.
And most people have been sold that dream. And, it's like, that's why it's people like me and you, because like, it's like we have a dream and it's like, no, I'm not going to take all of my time and spend it here. I'm going to go do whatever it takes to win over here.
Exactly.
And it's like, I think that's why it's so easy to win and make money, because there's so many people not trying to win. So easy to win. I mean, if you just do something different, you'll win, because 97% of people are focusing on failure. It's crazy.
How much did you spend to buy into this program?
It was $4.99 at the time, $499.
That's not bad at all.
It was cheap. I mean, you even like now, bro, we got to go high level and all these different, how much does it cost to really run our businesses online and stuff like that nowadays?
Not much at all.
You know what I mean? So it depends on how you really, value. But it was $4.99 to get started. But what I would tell people too is like, the investment that you always make is into yourself. You know what I mean? And so when people don't invest, it's like, it's crazy that you don't even feel you're worth the investment.
Yeah. It's too much money.
Yeah. For yourself.
That fucking word, it's too much money. Yeah. To what? To invest in yourself? To learn, to grow, to evolve, to be a better person, to learn a new skill? Yeah. That's too much money?
Yeah. It says a lot about people that they don't really value who they are. You know
no, they don't.
Like, they don't really value who they are and their future. Because too many people are holding on to they are today in terms of their past, but not really valuing what's going to happen to them in the future. So
they lack value. They lack self-worth.
Yep. It's crazy.
How do we change that?
It's really just, one is your environment. I think a lot of times, like, people have the wrong friends and family, meaning that, like, you grow up in an environment, like, okay, you come, oh, this is my cousin, this is my brother, this is my shit, like, because you're blood, right? But what happens is, like, you really succumb to that environment. Yeah. You succumb to their beliefs. If you think about how you grow up and how you think and how you operate, process, it's like because of your parents and your family, your grandparents and things like that. And so I think that the best thing that you can do is get out of that environment, right? Whether it's even listening to different stuff on YouTube, listening to podcasts like this, right. Getting different books and things like that, because you always have to challenge the thinking process. And the only way you can do that is getting access to new information. Yes. And that's the biggest thing. So like, it's changing the information that goes in. And then with YouTube and everything that is today, it's so free to do it, And that's the thing, information is plentiful. Like, like it says, seek and ye shall find. People just don't seek, so they never find it.
Right. And to add to that, I think once you're on that path, you can't talk to these people about it. Yeah. Because they're going to judge you. Yeah. Try to bring you back down. Yeah. Try to keep you in that environment. Yeah. They don't want you to grow. People who are not in that frequency don't want you to escape it.
No, for sure. They don't, because it's the old saying, right? People want to see you do good, but never better than them.
Not better than them.
I remember like, so even to add to that, like I remember, so, I signed up for a mentorship with him, 500. I start running some of the plays and things he tells me to do, right? Boom.
How was that?
It was a unique experience because for me, it goes into believing in myself. Yeah. And so it was actually, at the time, I had never invested like $10,000 of myself into a program, right? So I invested $10,000 into it, but because I invested the $10,000, I listened to everything he told me to do, like everything he said to do, every step of the way. Like I'm gonna execute it. So I remember investing the $10,000. Not too long after that, let's say like maybe less than 30 days, maybe 3 weeks in, I have a $10,000 a week in my business.
Really? And wait, how long later?
Like 3, 4 weeks.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well,
that's fast.
And I think I was already in motion. So like what happens is like sometimes people need like, there's a difference, I guess, in mentorship and coaching. Yeah. Sometimes like a coach is like, yo, here, look, this the play. And it's like they stand from over here, but they tell you, hey, this the play, and they call the play, and then you just go run the play, and it's like that.
Correct.
Sometimes people need hand-holding. I wasn't the person who needed hand-holding. I just needed a coach to say that saw some things that I didn't see, and then like, hey, look, go run these plays. When I went and ran the plays 2-3 weeks later, it was like, it was a snowball effect, but I was someone who already was in motion. It was just that he already understood some of the things I didn't understand.
Incredible.
So, right, so I would say that. It was like I wasn't somebody who didn't have anything already in motion, but it was like I was in.
You were missing a piece of the puzzle. He gave you that piece, and it connected. You saw the whole picture.
Bingo. That was it. So, but I remember having my first $10,000 a week, and I'm like, yo, I can't tell nobody. I couldn't tell my mom.
Give me more.
Can't tell my dad. Like, I can't call my friends because they might think it's like,
that's
I'm
crazy.
bragging.
Right.
I call him. Yo, it's like 11 o'clock at night. I just got off of doing a webinar, Yo. I'm like, bro, look, we chop it up. He like, yeah, bro, that's like, I'm like, bro, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't had nobody to call. He like, look, bro, I get it. Been there before. I know how it is. You start making money, and it's like, you don't got nobody to call. And it's like, for us in our environment, like
What a good dude.
it was dope because it was like it was somebody that understood. You know what I mean? And it wasn't like, see, he had made more money than me anyway. $10,000 a week was nothing to him.
Nothing.
But
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
like
yeah.
he understood, like, because I grew up in Baltimore. Like at the time when I did the $10,000, I still live in Baltimore. Thank God for Florida. I'm a Floridian now, you know. But I still lived in Baltimore at the time. So I remember like just not wanting to tell anybody. And that's what, and I'm gonna tell you, that's the craziest thing in our community, in our culture, is that when you start winning, you don't even want people to know you're winning. But it's like we forget that as a leader. Like, what is a leader? A leader is someone who leads by what?
Example.
Bingo, right? And it's like we don't even want to be the example because we're afraid of, oh, this person might try to come get me, or this person might try to, like, bro, we be so afraid to be an example because of the negative.
Right.
And it goes back to how we think and how we operate and how we process. And so it was dope because it was somebody who understood where I was coming from, but it was like, yeah, bro, like, next week, let's go do 20,000 a week. Boom, that's like, all right, like, this is that's the energy I needed, right? I didn't need somebody that was like, because even like, $10,000 a week, it's like, oh, let's get comfortable. Nah, bro, let's not get comfortable. Look, if you did it this week, what can we double down on next week so we can do it again and double up
How
next
big
week?
can it get?
Yeah. And so that was the energy I needed. So I was glad I was able to call him and I wasn't able to call somebody else because somebody else would have been like, yo, you're the man. It probably would have made me like comfortable or made me feel like I did something. But I love the fact that he like encouraged me, but it was like, nah, bro, congratulations. But let's see how we can double up. Let's see how we can get better. Let's see how we can double down on some things that worked. And that was dope for me. But it was also like, yo, look, it's okay to be the example. And I would tell anybody, no matter where you're from, what your color is, no matter what it is, it's okay for you to be the leader, be the example in your community because they don't have a lot of them. And so sometimes, like, that's what you need. You need to be the example for someone else to win so they can see a different path. That might make somebody sell drugs or go down this path or do this because they don't see any other examples of what they can do. And that's why it was so dope for me because it was like, yo, it's okay to win. Be the example. Let's get it. And, you know.
I love how he was like, bro, this is the appetizer.
Yeah.
Let's go eat. Let's go get that dinner. Yeah. That's incredible.
So it's just like, it just goes back to the environment though. Like, you know, I just remember winning and it was like, yo, you win. Like, oh, like, yo, okay, I don't want to tell nobody I won. And that just sucks. It sucks to feel like that. And it sucks to even be in that type of space. So that's why I do thank God for Florida, or just thank God for being able to get into different environments. Cause like out here, you ride around, everybody winning. You ride around in this, everybody ride around something different. Everybody getting to it, everybody on yachts and stuff like that. So it's like, it's a great energy out here because it builds you up and it makes you want to go get more. So
When'd you move?
It's been about 14 months now. So
Okay.
I moved about a year ago. I moved a year ago. Me and my guy did we both split the rent. And then I just recently just moved into a townhouse. So now it's kind of like I'm on, doing my thing. And
Nice.
it was a great transition. You know what I mean? I'm thankful though, because like I said, it's like you got to get into different environments. And that's the biggest thing I think. For anybody in an inner city, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I would encourage you to move. It don't matter where you move, but get out of your inner city, get out of your environment and challenge yourself to win.
What'd your family say when you moved?
My mom just didn't believe that I was really going to do it, The hardest part about moving was my daughter. I still have a daughter. My daughter's, shout out to Justice Tyrell Bhown. She's actually going to be turning 9 on the 20th of this month. That was the hardest thing, like just not being able to spend as much time as I used to with her.
Yeah.
So now I still got to go back home every month. I go home and I make sure we do something, some type of activity, go out to eat, shop, whatever she want to do.
Good for you.
But I think at the end of the day, I wanted to be the best dad that I could and become the best version of a man as I could.
Right.
And I just knew that wasn't the place to do it. Like I had outgrown it. You know what I mean? It was like, because
Holding you back.
Another thing about making money too is like when you start looking around and there's nobody else that's doing better than you, you start to if I need to pour into other people, I need somebody to be able to pour into me.
Right.
That's where the mentorships and coaching came in. So I'm looking around and it's like I can't get poured into. Everybody coming to me for help. Everybody coming to me asking me for money. Everybody coming. Nah, I gotta figure that out. So yeah, that was the biggest thing. But my mom just didn't believe it. But thankfully, we kind of still have a great relationship. My dad, great relationship. My sister, for the most part, and that's another thing when you move and make decisions for yourself, like people support it. And the people that don't support it, they're not supposed to be a part of your tribe. Period. So it's just like, make decisions that you got to make for yourself, do what you got to do to win. And whoever rock with you, that's who's supposed to be there. If they ain't rocking with you, then okay, leave them where they want to be. Leave them right there.
Right. Let's go deeper. What were you marketing? And how did you evolve from that?
So So when I first started the business, when I first started the network marketing, it's utility. So it's getting paid when people pay bills, gas, electric, cell phone, cable, internet, home security.
Okay.
Right. It was like residual income on bills. So love the concept.
How did that work exactly?
So they have different like affiliate partnerships per se with major like Dish, DirecTV, AT&T.
Got it.
Basically some of your major utility providers. It's word of mouth, so they offer a discount, right? So you get a discount if you go through them, right? But you're still connected to the major utility. So I started with that. And so what you realize is that like I started with that, but it's like in network marketing, of course, it's about getting customers. But of course, whoever has the most customers has to build the biggest team.
Right.
So now you start understanding vision building. You start understanding like brand. Like, so I came with the brand, struggle before success. To me, I'm from the inner city. Everybody resonates with struggling before they can become successful.
For sure.
So that was like the vision. So I basically started with that, and we had some success. I hit regional vice president. How credit came along, and how I got into like basically wanting to understand how the banks work was I made money in my business, in my network marketing business, and I wanted to get in real estate. The whole time I'm running around doing the network marketing, I never knew anything about credit, getting access to money from the banks, because you just understand how to like how to basically build a team and how to get access to customers and how to make money.
Right.
Okay, now that I'm transitioning real estate, it's a different ballgame because now you got to understand how to get money from the banks, how to evaluate certain deals, how to know
Right.
what's a good deal.
Different ball game.
Just entirely different type of business model. So due to my networking experience, though, I know how to network. So I make a phone call to one of my guys. I'm talking to him about the business, right? And he's telling me about his friend that can help with the real estate. We just talking about business and real estate. He like, yo, I got a friend. He knows all about real estate. I'm going to connect y'all. Bet. We connect. Everything seems good at first. My mom was a nurse, right? Like a CNA, GNA. Was always very, very good with money. Like, she don't go get her nails done. She ain't getting her hair done. Like, she just not on that type of stuff. And so in Baltimore, you could buy properties for $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. So instead of her spending money like on dumb stuff, she would save money, and then like it would be opportunities for her to buy properties. There's this hospital in Baltimore called Johns Hopkins. Johns Hopkins, they're a university as well, but it's also a hospital. They started like basically gentrifying, or basically like doing rehabs and stuff in the neighborhood in the houses that were around the hospital. She had a house that sat on the same block as the hospital. So that house at the time probably could have went for like $230,000. We just had to fix it up and do the rehab, right? So she owned it free and clear, didn't have any liens on it, but now we need to get a rehab loan or a hard money loan to do the property. We partnered with the guy, and the way the deal goes, he steals about $65,000, anywhere from $63,000, $65,000, something like that. He basically gets us for $65,000 out the deal. I'm about 25 years old at the time, so I'm young enough where it's like, man, F it, like I'm gonna figure it out. My mom is probably like, I don't know, 58, so she's more like, and being honest, the guy was white, so he's like, oh, you let this white guy, I'm like, it's not even about that, right? Like, because what happens with us is, and it goes back to how we think and process, because now we start looking at different things of that, like color and
race, yeah.
And like, it's nothing to do with that.
It's about money.
It's about money, and it's about knowledge, right? And like application, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, well, what did he know that I didn't know? What is it that he knew? How did he connect the dots?
What did I miss, right?
All that. So I try to redo the process, but without him, I'm trying to get loans from the banks. They pulling my credit, looking at your credit. I don't know nothing about credit. I had repos. I got negative student loans. I got credit cards I done ran up, never paid it back. I don't know nothing. I never been taught anything about it. But now that I'm trying to reduplicate this process, and I'm going to different banks, I'm going to sitting down with people that are white behind the desk that deal with banks. I'm sitting down with people that are black behind the desk. It don't matter who, but they all telling me about my credit. So okay, boom, YouTube University. I start digging in, like, okay, well, what factors go into your credit report? What are they looking at? So now I'm starting to understand negative items and collections and charge-offs and repossessions and like I'm starting to understand how all of this works.
Delinquencies and all that.
From there, it's like, all right, how do I fix this? Because I messed it up. I messed it up because I didn't have no knowledge. Now I need to understand how to fix it. So now it's just educating myself. Around the same time, this is when Hemp 500 initially comes out with recession proof and all that. And so it goes back. I flew to a event that he did, an in-person event in Atlanta. I flew, and that like blew like that whole event blew, because now I understand like certain things about the credit report. I understand how to get access to banks. It's Navy Federal. We got all these different banks, who they pull from, just all the different things that go into it. And I'm like, bet, I'm here. I'm locked in. Let me go and access the information, and I'm gonna go apply this information. So at the time, my credit was bad. So what I started applying was, first thing I did was I started fixing my credit. I started sending out the letters and stuff like that to get the repossession off, fix the late payments. I called, I had student loans. I called, and this is when they had like some income-driven repayment plan. They was like, look, if you get into the plan, it'll knock off all the late payments on your student loan. Perfect. So I fixed that. I fixed the credit card. I get the credit card wiped off. Now, like, basically my credit is going up. My mom didn't have no credit. So where I had to fix my credit, she didn't have no credit. So what I tell people is like, yo, you can basically.
Which one's worse?
I think it's easier to build someone who has no credit. No, it's easier to build someone with no credit than to fix credit and then like build. Because one is like, it's negative and you gotta get rid of negative, clean it, and then you gotta build it. One, you just gotta build.
Okay.
So what I tell people is like, okay, look, sometimes let's say you got bad credit, right? Look, you definitely need to work on your credit, but now you need to find someone that you believe, a family member, a friend, someone you trust, believe, and like, let's see how you can work their credit and put them in position. So first thing I did was I got my mom a secured credit card with Navy Federal, her bank account with Navy Federal, secured credit card. I started, basically building her credit profile out from scratch. So she does a secured credit card with Navy Federal. Mind you, my mom knows nothing about credit, so she not the one that really need the money. She not trying to figure it out. Like, she just letting me work it. So boom, I remember working her, basically building her out, getting American Express, getting Capital One credit cards, getting FNBO, right? So I built my mom out. I got my mom over $100,000.
Wow.
Just in personal funding, right? From scratch, right? So then now it's time to go back to real estate. I still ain't never forget that I want to do the real estate, but I just needed to understand how the credit reports work and stuff like that. The next deal we do, I use her as the personal guarantor for the property. We go in, we basically get another, let's say $100,000 on a hard money loan, but now it's to fix up the property.
Okay.
And boom. So even that deal, we actually just sold that deal. We sold that deal. We did about $60,000, $70,000 in profit on that deal.
Incredible.
And it was literally because I started understanding like the literacy of financial. And so at the end of the day, even for anybody who has bad credit, we got to fix your credit. There's laws, there's ChatGPT. So even like now, if you got to fix your credit, boom, what do? You can go on ChatGPT and ask it to write you an aggressive affidavit, right? Using certain laws, right? There's certain laws. If you just use 15 USC 1681A4, it talks about that we all have
off the dome.
Yeah, we all have a right to privacy, right? So you can leverage that and say, hey, look, go to ChatGPT. Hey, look, do a prompt. Hey, you are a consumer law expert that specializes in the Fair Credit Reporting Act, right? Hey, write me an aggressive affidavit talking about my right to privacy using 15 USC 1681A4, and then list the different accounts and stuff that you have that's negative, and then boom, it'll spit you out the affidavit. If you need, I would say get the affidavit notarized.
That's incredible.
So you go to notarylive.com. So now you can take the ChatGPT affidavit, input your information into it. Go to notarylive.com, because notarylive.com is a website where you can notarize anything online, right? You submit your ID, you submit the document you want notarized, you notarize it, and then boom, you can even send it out certified using onlinecertifiedmail.com. So these are the ways that from home you can repair your credit immediately from home just by taking the simple steps I talked about, right? And if it's building, it's just understanding, like, a lot of time people look at a credit score, but they don't really understand how to build out a credit report, right? So you want to have a different mixture of different things on your file. So I would go with secured loans, right? You got, they call Navy Federal pledge loans, but most credit unions, right, you can do pledge loans, right?
Yeah.
So if you had money, you take the money and put it into a pledge loan, right? Pay off 75%, 80% of the loan right away, and then let the rest over time, because the way credit works is that it's payment history over time. Right? A lot of times people don't want to build. A lot of times where we come from in our community is always about destruct and not construct. And it's like, you got to start understanding.
That's deep.
Yeah, you got to understand how to construct. And even with your credit report, even with your life or with business, right? It's like we build on our successes. We build on our failures too. And so it's really just understanding the mindset of construct. So yeah, you do some secured loans. You start with that. You got, rent reports. You can backdate. So rent reports, you can backdate, right? Your rent payments and things like that. Go to rent reports. You do a backdate. I would do a couple of secured loans and maybe 1 or 2 secured credit cards. Secured credit cards, I would only do like Capital One or Discover. I would do ones that graduate into a real credit card, right? And then essentially, you can add some authorized users, which means that you can become a user on someone else's good credit, making sure they don't have any like negative stuff like that. And that's pretty much how you can start building out, you know. And then I would go through credit unions. So Navy Federal, you can call them, say, look, man, I had a dead grandparent that was in the military. You know, I'm looking to get a check in the savings account. Typically, they let you in. You can go to financialfitnessassociation.org, pay $8 for the year, and they have a list of credit unions that now you'll have access to as well. And I would basically go in and get different accounts for credit unions. And I would start building from credit unions because they're a lot more lenient when people have to build out their credit reports and stuff like that. So those are the things that I didn't know at the time. And so I started using that with my mom. So got her to a 700+ credit score. We got, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars with my mom. And then by the time that mine's turned around, it was, you know, game over. So now it's either I still leverage my mom, I still leverage myself. But, you know, just off of leveraging those, my profile, my mom's profile, you know, we've gotten close to $1 million in funding. We've done some, you know, real estate deals and things like that. And it really started because of a tribulation, a trial, right? Because someone stole $65,000 from me, it basically allowed me to make millions. And that's the crazy part. A lot of times things happen to people in life, and what happens is people look at the obstacle and not the opportunity.
Max, we need to get a button where we're dropping bombs when fire's being spit, right? We can program that board to push a button because you just dropped so much knowledge. You just gave the whole playbook.
Yeah.
That was incredible. Yeah. Like, if you're watching this, he just gave you the whole play on how to fix your credit and how to obtain money from banks, how to build it from scratch. Bro, that was incredible.
Yeah. Yep.
That was incredible.
It took a lot of time. You know, I lost some money to get there. So, you know, but you know, it's always information. I'm telling you, like in our community, bro, people like in the Bible, just something simple says you perish for lack of what? Knowledge, right? So we perish because we lack knowledge. So a lot of times it's how we educate ourselves and things of that sort. And so I think the biggest thing is like educating yourself financially because it's all how you can leverage it, how you can leverage it to do real estate, how you can leverage it to do business, marketing, sales. All that kind of stuff is important because you got to be able to leverage it to make you more money, right? And it's not really about making excuses. I think a lot of times if you want to win, you can't make excuses. And that's the thing too, like where we come from, people.
I love your mindset.
Yeah, people make excuses, and that's why you're not winning. You can't make excuses and make money at the same time.
No, you can't. Yeah. The two don't work together. Yeah. The two frequencies clash.
Yeah, yeah. And so people have victim mindsets too, which I get it. Some people go through different stuff, but you know, you got to be a victor, not a victim. And it's all on how you.
That's incredible. So how many deals have you done?
So far we've done about 4 deals.
That's incredible.
Like fix and flip. So we still on the young side in terms of that, but it was a process because really all of this kind of started in 2021. So even to now, 3 years later, you know.
And I love how you're doing it with your mom, keeping it in the family, building her credit, building her up. Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, my mom is like, my mom has always, you know, had my back. So it's funny, it's crazy you said that. I just threw my mom a 65th birthday party. And it was a surprise, right? You know, did a surprise birthday party for her. But, you know, one of the things that I said in my video was like, I get to take care of my mom. You know, I get to throw this party for my mom because really when I got in trouble, when I got locked up, when I was selling marijuana, doing different things like that, and I never went upstairs, you know what I'm saying? But still, even like the little petty going to, you know, bookings and things like that, you know, and it's like, I could always call my mom. You know, she never missed a day where she was there for me and had my back. She never stopped believing in me. And so I think that's something that's so powerful is just having one person. If you could be like where we come, like if you come from the hood, if you can have one person that believes in you, that's all you need to change your life. Yeah. One person just believing in you. Sometimes there's nobody that believes in you. And it's like, this is why people don't really go to the next level too, because there's always someone praying on the downfall. Nobody's really believing in them. Nobody sees the vision. Nobody sees the dreams. And sometimes you just need one person. So that's my mom has definitely always been, no matter what.
She was your first mentor.
First mentor, first coach, first,
you
know, first everything, really.
Yeah.
You know, first example. She was an example. She bought properties, you know, was a leader, you know, in her own right. The only thing I never really liked on my mom's is just like the different men she would choose. And that was another thing, right? Because you start seeing men that she choose, and it's like because she come from the hood, she need a guy that got a little, you know. Mm-hmm. But it's like
flair.
Yeah, a little that. But it's like they don't really understand finances. They don't really understand business. They don't understand that. So they kind of need to lean on her. And that was really, I think, the thing that didn't allow her to thrive was some of the choices that she made with that. And even for me, that's what also made me want to get rich or made me want to be successful, because it's like I don't want to be that guy that I meet certain women. It's like I can't compliment them, or like I can't really be that guy. Like, no, I gotta be that guy.
sometimes in life, right, you meet people and you learn what not to do from them.
That's a fact.
You know? Those could be mentors as well, right?
sure.
To teach you what not to do.
For sure. It's funny you said it because Jim Rohn he got a talk, and he was like,
I love Jim Rohn.
It's like, imagine like if you paid like someone who wasn't successful, and it's like, hey, come sit here and tell me all the things you did that made you not successful, and you took notes.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, but that never happens like in life because nobody wants to take notes from the person that's never successful.
Right.
But that would also be a great tool as well to go and
For
talk
sure.
to somebody who wasn't successful and be like, hey, tell me how you messed it all up. And you take notes and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna make sure on everything on the paper.
I ain't never gonna do.
This. And it's like, yo, that's a great way to think about it too. So, you can learn from definitely both, successes and failures for sure.
Who are your mentors now?
So I listen to a lot of Nehemiah Davis.
Okay.
Still him 500 is definitely a mentor for me.
You guys still close?
Yeah, still my guy. Still Jim Rohn to this day. I still listen to a lot of Eric Thomas. Lately I've been listening to a lot of Coach Stormy.
Okay.
Like,
I was with her last night.
yeah, a lot of that.
She is a powerhouse.
Yeah. My favorite.
I'm trying to get her on the podcast.
Yeah, my favorite statement she just made recently was that rich people network and broke people look for work.
She said that on stage yesterday.
Yeah.
I was at Epic Talks with her yesterday.
Yeah, rich people network and broke people look for work.
Yep.
And that was a bar. You know what I'm saying? Because
100%.
So I listened to a lot of her lately.
She could have been a rapper.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, so yeah, a lot of her, bro. A lot of her, a lot of Neo. But really, right now, I tell you, like in terms of my ears, a lot of Neo. You know what I'm saying? He got some stuff on Apple Music.
Who?
Nehemiah Davis. So he
Got
got
it.
some stuff on Apple Music.
You call him Neo.
Yeah,
Got it.
a lot of stuff he got on Apple Music. So I literally listen to that every single day. And I think what resonates with Neo for me is because he born and raised in Philadelphia. I come from Baltimore, Maryland, and a lot of the stuff that he just talks about and he says it's personal development, but it's over top of beats. And so that works for me because I used to listen to a lot of music. Even riding around, it's like, yo, you like the beats, like boom, like you like the beat, like we
For
like
sure.
that. You know what I mean? So that upbeat stuff, and it's like I found that I can listen to him because he talks a lot over top of them type of beats, and so it kind of gives me both. So I don't got to turn on the nonsense. Like I don't want to turn the nonsense on. So
That's incredible.
yeah, let me listen to that. So that's really what I listen to for the most part every day, and then I think for me it's like just podcasts like this. I do listen to a lot of YouTube University. Dan Payne is one of my he got crazy energy. So it's like
He's aggressive.
Yeah, he's very aggressive. I listen to a lot of Tate too, bro. A lot of Andrew Tate as well.
Yeah.
Because I think for me it's like I like to listen to ultimate men. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's like I think that's the biggest thing, like us being able to be the ultimate man. It's like you got to be in that ultimate man energy.
Yeah.
And even now as an entrepreneur, business owner, a lot of times we network and things like that. But a lot of times you spend a lot more time by yourself because you're just building your business and it's kind of just you.
Right.
And it's like, so I like to listen to certain stuff that kind of deposits that ultimate man spirit.
And like we said, you got to have all perspectives.
Yeah.
The good, the bad, and the ugly. So you can pick and choose your own path.
Yeah, for sure.
You know? Speaking of the nonsense within music,
Yeah.
I think I know where you're going to go with it. But what do you make of this Kendrick-Drake beef? This nonsense, this bullshit.
I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't really paid attention to it, right?
I believe it. I knew you were going to say that.
Because a lot of time, bro, people pay attention to stuff that don't make the money
Yes.
or don't build them.
It's exactly where I wanted you to go with it.
It doesn't build them. Too many people spend time on other people getting money, right? But I will say that for both of the people, it's really non-affecting.
Yeah.
Because for Drake, I mean, what is it going to do? I mean, okay, he lost. Okay, what does that do for him? And what does it do for Kendrick? You know what I mean? I think, and that's the thing I think that we got to realize in our community is like, yo, we be talking about people that is already on different wavelengths.
Correct.
Why don't we have a conversation how we can get to that level?
Right.
Where we can beef and it's like, it ain't no real beef because we both it ain't like we all get money. Like it ain't,
Right.
It's, you know what I mean? It's friendly
It's
competition.
the show.
It's just a show. But I haven't really paid much attention to it. I'm a fan of Drake. I will say that I do like the song. I wasn't a big fan of Lamar, not against it, but I like Drake only because I like my favorite artist back then was Lil Wayne. I've always loved like lyricists and like just people that are able to put like lyrics together really well.
Yeah.
So Wayne was somebody that always did that for me. And so when Drake came out, you know what I mean, that was definitely like a different way. And I've always liked Drake's ability to do the singing, to do the rapping,
Right.
to have both. Like, you know, he got hits where you can dance.
Multifaceted, yeah.
I like that. So as an artist, you know, I still think he's one of the greatest to ever do it, just as an artist, because there's not too many people that can sing, that can rap, that could do it the way that he does it. And
I agree
that-
100%.
That can kind of command the attention. That, like, a lot of times, like, we listen to music and it's like, I can't listen to albums straight up. Like Drake, I mean, not some of the newer stuff, but most of the older stuff is like, I can play it straight through, and it's like,
Yes.
you know, it's
Every
motivational.
song is decent and
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sticking with the culture, what do you think about this whole P. Diddy, Jay-Z nonsense that's been going on? And how do you think that affects the culture and the community? Because these were men that we looked up to, that we grew up seeing, you know, idolizing and wanting to be like. What do you think this crash has done?
You know, it just says that people are human. You know what I mean? I think like in everybody's situation past, right? Like everybody got skeletons, per se, in the closet, right? And so people are human. And I think for me, the way I look at the culture and things like that is like you can look at somebody and you got to understand what you need to resonate with and attach yourself to.
Right.
And then you got to figure out like the stuff that you can't, like you just throw that stuff out. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that any of the stuff that they've done, whether it's, you know, with, you know, men or like some of the other stuff that we hear with, you know, little girl, I don't, that none of that stuff it feels good. I have a daughter, so I don't resonate with that at all.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't throw out everything they have done for the community and for the culture as well too, because you got to take the good with the bad. And I think it just says that we're all human and that we're all in some way, we're all sinners. You know what I'm saying? We all need, you know what I mean, Christ in some way, form, or fashion, right? Like, and at the end of the day, nobody's above that. You know what I'm saying? We all make certain decisions, and like we are. And that's another thing. As people, we are what our decisions make of us. So it's like you look at it, you understand. Okay, they've made certain decisions that, you know, bless the culture, that may allow them to make money, to be an example. And then they've also made decisions that you don't necessarily resonate with. But I wouldn't never look down upon someone that does certain things like that, because at the end of the day, I've done the same things in my own life. We've all done the same things in our own life. And it's like, really, you know, even in the Bible, it's like when you think about that story and it's like, well, he without sin should cast the first stone, right? What did they say? The person from the oldest, they dropped the stones all the way to the youngest. Why? Because the person that was the oldest did the most, had the most sins. It's the same thing for us. So it's like nobody's really perfect, but you just got to understand like what you should resonate with and what you shouldn't. And like you just got to respect both sides and understand that people are human. You know what I mean? And that's why we all serve a higher being, and that we all need help in some way, form, or fashion. None of us are perfect.
What is your relationship with God?
You know, it's a unique one. You know, I don't go to church often, like really. But I do believe that, you know, he died on the cross for our sins, and I believe that, like, you know, he definitely has his hand in my life. You know, when certain things happen, it's like, you know, he was there when things happen, he's there. And I think even just moving out here, I do need to find a home church. So that's something that I'll do, or I'll get to. But I, you know, my mom be like, yo, you need to pray more. You know, you spend more time with prayer, have more relationship with prayer. But, you know, I kind of look at my life as a prayer. You know what I'm saying? My life is just definitely a prayer, because it's like every single day, his hand is there. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to how I think, how I process, how I get certain clients, how I go through certain things, it's like, you know, everything happens for you and not to you.
Right.
And that's where, like, you know, I always look at like, okay, what am I supposed to learn from this? Or what are you trying to show me? Or how can I grow from this? So that's really like my relationship. You know, it's kind of like, you know, I know that he's there. I know he has his hand in my life. When I make certain decisions, he's definitely had his hand. And so you kind of look back through everything, and it's like, you know, I wouldn't even be where I am if I didn't make certain decisions. But it's not like I made certain decisions like without his hand being there, like without him being in my life. So
Right.
you know, I'm blessed, bro. I'm blessed. You know, like I said, I did drop out of college. I did come from Baltimore, so we've made multiple six figures this year. I've, you know, been able to learn a lot, grow a lot, get in certain rooms, network. You know what I mean? That's how we met, networking and being in a room. And so, yeah, I just continue to like understand that I have to continue to be a blessing, and I give back a lot too. So whether it's, you know, certain people asking for money, doing certain things like that, I like to make sure I'm always like giving, because I know that you can't receive if you don't give. And so that's another thing. I always look at, like, even like when if I like, it's like money. If I'm even thinking about that, it's like, yo, how much did you give? Did you give anybody anything? Have you done anything for anybody lately? Because it's like, we always like, a lot of people look to receive, but it's like, bro, did you do any giving? Because how, like, if you didn't plant no seeds, well,
Ain't none gonna grow.
Where's the harvest? And so sometimes, like, even when people, and like, even when people complain about money, or like, it's like, in my mind, it's like, yo, you probably ain't giving nothing lately. So I try to, you know, as much as I can. Even like when y'all see the guys on the corners with the signs, it's like, you know, sometimes I'll have cash. Like, let me just give them, you know what I mean? Like, let me have some cash.
Couple dollars,
if I have cash, it's like, and I see that, let me give some. Because if you want to receive something, make sure you give it out. And it's not that I give it to receive it, but it's like, it's just certain laws of the land that if you abide by it and apply it, it's like,
you generally want to help.
yeah.
Huh.
So it's like, you're going to definitely receive. So that's my relationship, bro. You know, I'm blessed, man. I you know, blessed to be here. Definitely could have died multiple times. I've been robbed at gunpoint back home in Baltimore, Maryland. So I know that, you know, definitely even when I got robbed at gunpoint, you know, even certain things that happened to me in different times of my life, it was like, yeah, there's a purpose for my life. And that's the thing, like, knowing that there's a purpose and just going out there and working hard to fulfill it every single day. You know, that's really where he comes into play. So I thank him for that for sure.
How old are you now?
I turned 33 Saturday.
Nice.
I'm 32. Yeah, 32, turned 33 Saturday.
Happy early birthday.
Thanks, bro. Yeah, man. It's been a lovely journey, but you know, more to do, more to come.
Where do you want to be by 40?
You know, in the words of Eric Thomas, bro, I don't have a 5-year plan. But I will tell you that I go out every single day and I grind. I work hard every single day and I'm grinding. The reason I've never like been the 5-year, 10-year plan guy is because I just feel like every day I go out and put it out there and lay it out. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna lay it out on the line every single type of, you know what I mean? Like, if I basketball, football, whatever the sport, I'm gonna go out there every single day. I'm gonna lay it on the line, and you gonna know I gave my all. So, you know, I mean, I know that I'm gonna be successful and make more money and do more of that. I think for me, it's just like I've never been that guy that sat down and wrote out the different stuff, because people that do that, I think it's a good thing to do, but I also think that it can like discourage you, because it's like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and what happens when you don't go? When, like, oh, I ain't do it. And it's like sometimes building.
Yeah, but you don't have that mindset.
Nah, for sure. But like with success, it's kind of like you sometimes with build, and depending on who you are watching this podcast, with success, it's a muscle. So sometimes like it's like even like when you think about like network marketing, it's like I'm gonna make 5 calls today, and then like you don't do it. Like now it's like you didn't build that muscle. But if you say I'm gonna go make 5 calls today, and then you go make the 5 calls, now you start to trust yourself, because
that
like
discipline.
you said I'm gonna do something, and then you wouldn't go do it. A lot of times people say they're gonna do something, they don't do it, and it's like now you don't trust yourself. Just in life, like you don't trust yourself in life. So I've never really been that guy to make the plans. But if you ask me every single day, like people know I work hard, bro. I'm gonna work hard. That's my thing too. Like my goal is to outwork anybody. Like I'm gonna outwork you. If we in the same room, same space, or whatever, I'm gonna outwork you. And that's just how I kind of look at it. And even though that you can't always equate money to hard work, because sometimes working smarter, not harder. But at the end of the day, like I'm not lazy, and I pride myself on not being lazy. And I think that's another thing that I see so many people. Like, people are just lazy. They don't want to go put the work in. And it's like, nah, bro, I'm not with none of that. I'm about to go put the work in. So,
can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Your mindset is so strong. Yeah. You are so determined that if you were to make a plan, you'd fucking crush it.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
You'd crush it, bro.
I agree.
You'd probably excel that plan by 2x.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's something and that's the thing too, like in life is like, there's different adjustments. So I've never had like a New Year's resolution. Like, you know, New Year's come, I just never, I don't know. I've never, you know what I'm saying?
I do.
But now you're telling me that, okay, that's something I might really go and execute on.
Because it gives you a GPS compass, right? It's like, I want to go there. And you tell the universe, I want to go there. And you're going to go there regardless, right? But if you tell it, it's going to help you get there.
No, for sure. It's definitely a GPS. You gotta have a GPS. I mean, in life in general, you gotta have a GPS. But I think that too, like, the GPS for me is because I work hard every single day. Like, trust me, I'm making lefts. I'm gonna make the right. I'm gonna go straight because I'm gonna work hard like, every single day. And it's even like when you fail, when something happens, it's just like it didn't go the way you wanted it to go.
Right.
Yo, it happens for you. What? Like, how can I bounce back on that? So, you know, it's amazing, man, to be turned 33. I used to be broke. That's why I understand what being broke looks like. You know, I remember like having my daughter at 24 years old. So she turns 9 this year. I had my daughter at 24 years old. I was broke. You know what I mean? That was one of the biggest like fears about having a child, was being broke. Like being another broke man. You know what I'm saying? And like even being a dad, and it's like you broke and you can't, you know, do things for your family. Like that's just
it's the worst.
It just doesn't feel good. So I'm definitely blessed to be where I am today. And like even when whatever my daughter needs and when they call, it's like, yo, I got it. You know, my mom, she want to take a flight. She going to Virginia this weekend. She calls. I was like, Ma, it's my birthday. You know what I mean? Okay, Ty, I get it. Like, but I need you to buy me this flight. I want to start traveling. Okay, Mom. Like, you know what I mean? Book the flight. Like, it's crazy that I got to buy a flight for you on for my birthday. But it's like, you look at it and it's like, I remember there was a time she wouldn't even call me because I wouldn't even be the guy that she could depend on. And it's like, nah. So I love being the guy that like my family and my people can depend on. My dad, shout out to my dad. My father called me, Ty. So he called me like, yo, Ty, I might need something. All right, Dad, like, let me know. Well, a week later, he called me, yeah, Ty, I need to hold like $700. I want to buy these sweatsuits. And my father's a straight hustler. I want to buy these sweatsuits. I'm going to flip the sweatsuit. Right. I'm like, all right, Dad, I cash out the $700, no problem. He was like, Ty, you don't know how hard that was for me. You know what I'm saying? To ask you for money, right? So I'm like, I wait like a week or 2 weeks. I call him back like, hey, Dad, look, I just want you to know, like, you don't even got to like worry about paying me back, bro. Like,
right.
He like, Ty, no, like, no, Dad, it's cool. Like, you can have the money. I don't need it. And he was just like, well, whatever you're doing, just keep doing what you're doing. As long as it's legal and you're good, like, just keep doing what you're doing. But that made me feel good because he could call me, he could depend on me, and it's like, yo, I got you. You know what I mean?
It made him feel good too, proud.
Yeah, for sure. So, those are the things that, like, when I look at my life now, super blessed, bro. Would never trade it.
I have a tradition that I like to do at the end of the show. Give me a second.
Okay.
So that's Thor's hammer.
Okay.
Right? In order to be able to lift it, you got to be worthy.
Got you.
Right?
Got you.
Like Captain America.
Okay.
He almost lifted it.
Okay.
But then eventually he lifted it because he's worthy.
Got you.
Right? You have one of the greatest mindsets I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I feel like you're fucking bulletproof.
Right.
How can you teach someone to have that same mindset? Someone who feels unvalued, unworthy. How can you open the door for them to have them step through to learn what you know about value and worthiness?
When it comes to the mindset, I would tell them, one, turn off the music and turn off the TV. Because the two biggest things we got to realize, right, is that the TV it's television, but if you break it down, it's lie, vision, right? So it's telling you lies, right? And then when it comes to the music, shoot them, kill them, drugs, the women, like those are the things that's not going to make you successful. So the first thing is like, it's not even just what you do, it's what you turn off and like what you eliminate. So let's eliminate the television, let's eliminate the music. The second thing I would tell you is then like you got to find people that you resonate with, that you like to listen to. I liked Eric Thomas. I liked Nehemiah Davis. I liked Jim Rohn, right? I liked Brian Tracy. Like, I like these guys. You got to find stuff you listen to, but you got to listen to it every single day, all day.
Yeah.
Right? You got to wake up listening to it. You got to listen to it all day. You got to go to sleep listening to it. Because the biggest thing about a mindset is that it's crafted over time. So think about, like, when you grow up, it's like you listen to music, radio and all that stuff. That's, when you 4, 5, 6, when you 10, when you 15, when you 20, you listen to all that. You listen to it for 20 years.
Yeah.
Boom. Now, and that shapes your mindset, how you talk to women, how you think about
And you want to be like that.
You want to be like that. You got to basically eliminate that, and then you got to basically empty all that out in so many words, and you got to fill yourself back up with the right stuff. And so that would be my biggest thing. Turn on the TV, turn on the music, and then find some people that you like and listen to it over and over and over again. Because really, life is about repetition, right? Learning is about what? Repetition. So the more that you repeat the same stuff, that's why even for me, like I listen to the same stuff every day. It's about repetition, right? One of my favorite, like, even songs, I spoke last weekend in Dallas. Spoke. I turned on it's by Bob Proctor, and he got this lady, I think her name is Michelle, and it's called "I Am a Magnet to Money." I send it to you, bro.
Please do.
I'll send it to you. And basically, it's a song where she's like, I'm a magnet to money. I have more than I need, right? And she basically sings a song, and she says it over and over and over every single day.
That's awesome.
Bro, I listen to that song. Bro, I'm a magnet to money. I have more than I need every single day. And it's kind of funny because it's high energy. It's like she say the same stuff over and over.
Affirmations.
But it starts speaking into your life. And so that's the biggest thing, bro. You gotta to change your mindset, you need to turn the TV off, turn the music off. And you got to put the right stuff in. And you got to understand that if you did 20, 30, 40, 50 years of the wrong stuff, imagine how much time it's going to take for you to really change it. And you got to want to do it double time. Even go to sleep listening to it. So even like when I go to sleep, sometimes I just turn on affirmations and I let it play all night and go to sleep. Like you on YouTube,
Yeah.
You know how they talk about the Faces YouTube channels? Yep, I'm getting them paid. 'Cause I'm turning them on. I'm letting that stuff talk every single night. I wake up to it. You're a billionaire. Yeah, you live the lifestyle. You got the money. Like, you got to understand, it's a realm. It's a spirit. You know what I mean? We live in flesh, but everything is about your spirit.
Yep.
About your energy. So it's like
It's all frequency.
So those are the things that you got to play every single day. And you know, slowly but surely, you look up, and that's what you start to attract to yourself. Because everything in life is like, it goes to spirit, energy, but what are you attracting to yourself? And so those are the things that I would say. Turn out the TV and the music, because those are the things that are going to attract the women, the drugs, the sex, just the bad decisions and things like that. And turn the right stuff on, you know?
And one thing that you've been preaching the whole podcast, your environment.
Yeah. You got to change that too. I mean, we grow up and it's your family, your friends, and things like that. But what happens is that you got to create that for yourself. You got to create a new family, get new friends, right? A lot of times it comes from the people you do business with, the people that you meet, and when you go out and network and things like that, it comes from like you getting outside of the environment that you've been born into. You know what I mean? So even if you got an Eventbrite and go to this event, go to that event, like you got to tap with Amari and like you'll go to his, like you got to get around people that are doing events and doing successful stuff. And I think too, money is about like when you meet certain people that are doing certain things, like a lot of times like you meet people that make money and it's like, when you don't come from money, it's like, oh, he must be doing something wrong.
Don't you hate that shit?
And it's like, no, he ain't doing nothing wrong.
Nah.
But it's like,
It's got the right mindset, bro. It's all.
and that's the thing. It's like we see that in our life, and it's like we don't understand. We need to be like that.
Yes.
Like, let's learn to be like that. You know what I mean? Let's figure out how that works. Let's look at what he's doing.
Right.
And then, you know, just implement it. A lot of time, you know, being successful is just looking, it's copying the right cats, copy the right people. Right. That's why it looks Coach Stormy. Hey, rich people rich people network, broke people what? Look, I ain't looking for work. You ain't
Shout
gonna
out
see
to
me
Coach
looking
Stormy.
I'm not, all 20, I don't know what year, I'm not never looking for work. If I got a problem, guess what I'm gonna do? Network. It's how they think. And so I went to the event with her and Daniel G. That was the first time I heard her say it. Ever since then, I've been telling people like, yeah, bro, you wanna get rich, bad network. Bro, people look for work. When I'm talking to my mentees and things like that, it's like, oh, I was looking for this job. Hey, look, man, I want you to know the rich people, they network. Broke
all
people,
they do, bro.
They look for work.
When they go golfing, they ain't golfing. They networking.
Yeah.
Golf is just the activity to go networking.
Yeah. So yeah, change your environment for sure. Get around new people, new places, new experiences. Turn the TV off, turn the music off. You know, turn on the mentors, turn on coaches, turn on successful people, and just copy what they're doing. Apply what they're doing. Don't look at it in the wrong way. Look at it as how you can apply it and how you can change your life.
Incredible. Take that back from you.
Yeah, that joint was heavy. Yeah.
Ty, where can people find you?
Instagram.
What's your IG? What's your website?
Yeah, Instagram, man. At Chief, CHIEF SBS. Chief SBS on Instagram. Same thing on TikTok. Facebook is my name. It's Tyrell, Tyrell. My middle initial, L, and my last name is Brown. So yeah, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I'm also on YouTube as well, Chief SBS as well. Yeah, but man, shout out, man. Tap in with me. And if you're looking to legally be able to rob the banks and get access to capital, grow, scale, start your business, we can make one phone call, one text message, and we can get you funded $100,000 or more. And can't wait to tap in with you.
Incredible. You dropped so much knowledge. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you. And if you guys are not listening and not taking action on what's being told here, I don't know what to tell you, bro. Because the knowledge is being dropped. He set the standard. Just follow it. Like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and we'll see you guys next time.